Hey, what up, guys? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, going to discuss the ESPN recap from Saturday, May 22nd that featured the undisputed title fight at 140 pounds between undefeated Josh Taylor, unified champion, and unified champion and undefeated Jose Ramirez. Now, we had pretty decent undercard action. You had Elvis Rodriguez, the undefeated 140-pounder that was on the rise, got upset against Kenneth Sims Jr. He lost a close decision over 8 rounds, a majority decision, and suffers the first loss of his career. So a tough one right there, but that's what happens when you take a step up in class and then you overlook that guy. Kenneth Sims didn't have the greatest resume, but he was a little bit more seasoned than what Rodriguez had faced before. And you can't overlook those kind of guys. You just can't. You gotta stay on those guys and fight them the same way. You gotta fight everybody, and the same way, same mentality. Focus and not focus on the future. Focus on the guy in front of you. So tough loss for him. In the co-feature, you had former world title challenger, top contender Jose Cepeda took on former world title challenger, veteran Hammer and Hank Lundy. Actually ended up being a more competitive fight than people bargained for. Cepeda might have been overlooking Lundy a little bit here, and he just kind of outboxed him, outclassed him to a unanimous decision, but it was by no means easy. And but I think Cepeda, coming off the fight of the year last year against Ivan Berianchik, I think he was just coming in to shake some of that off too. And he did well. He boxed well. He just got hit more than I think people were expecting. And it wasn't costly in any kind of way. He just it ended up being a little bit tougher fight than expected. And again, I attribute that to possibly overlooking Hank Lundy. So no harm there. He walked away with the win, still on the road to an eventual title shot. So we'll discuss his what's next later on in the week. And now we get to the main event for the undisputed junior welterweight championship of the world at 140 pounds. Excuse me. For only the 6th time in the 4-belt era, we declared an undisputed champion. 2nd time in this division at 140. Terrence Crawford did it back in 2017. And this was the mark of to mark a new star in the sport. And Taylor and Ramirez ended up being a really good fight. It started off with Taylor doing a little bit more work early, in the first round. But then the next 3 rounds I gave to Ramirez. I thought Ramirez outworked him. He was tagging him with some good shots, outlanded him. I gave Taylor the 5th. And I believe it was the 6th round when Taylor caught him and put Ramirez down. I was surprised by that because, Ramirez has showed nothing but a great chin to this point. But he got caught clean, kind of leaning in. And then in the 6th round, or the 7th round, he got caught with a wicked uppercut, doing the same thing, lunging in with his head out in front. And he paid the price. He got caught with a monster uppercut that put him down hard. And he had very hard time recovering from that. He almost didn't make it out of the round. That fight almost was stopped right when he got up and staggered, and it almost was just he almost got stopped before the bell, and he's lucky the bell rang, because even once they continued action with about 10 seconds left, he started slugging with Taylor, and I was just like, hold on, but after that, the zip on Ramirez's punches just weren't weren't there. It seemed like that took his kind of soul from him and took him a few rounds to recover. And while he was recovering, Taylor was piling up the points. So after 10 rounds, in my book, Ramirez needed a knockout. I had him winning the championship rounds, 11 and 12. And when we went to the scorecards, my scorecard was identical to Andre Ward's. Maybe we had a couple rounds different, but we ended up with the same score, which was 115-111, 7 rounds to 5 for Taylor. You could call it 8-4 at best, but I thought 7 rounds to 5 was fair, but those 2 extra points for the knockdowns had him 115-111. Now the judges, all 3 of the judges scored about 114-112, meaning that if he didn't score those 2 knockdowns, we got a draw. But hey, that's why knockdowns are so important. That's why that extra point means so much, because it could spell the difference of a fight for you, and it did in this one. Those knockdowns were huge for Taylor, and I realistically didn't think Taylor could hurt Ramirez. I thought he was gonna use his angles and outbox him. I thought he was kind of crazy for talking about how he was gonna knock him out and he was gonna slug it out with him. And when he was doing it early, I was like, man, because he got caught with some good, clean shots. It looked like they shook him a little bit, but didn't hurt him bad. But I was like, oh, man, if he's going to stand in the pocket, Ramirez is going to eat him up. And for the next 3 rounds, like I said, I had Ramirez not dominating, but winning the fight after 4 rounds. And then Taylor, I think he took 4 rounds to figure him out. And there's a few guys that do that are very smart and great fighters. That's Terrence Crawford does that. It takes him about 3 or 4 rounds to figure his opponent out, and then he puts his foot on the gas pedal and starts taking advantage of your mistakes. And Taylor did that in spades with Ramirez. He took advantage of the fact that Ramirez comes in with his head out in front, his chin up and his head out, and kind of lunges in, and he does that sometimes without throwing punches. And if you're going to do that, somebody's going to catch you with a clean punch, and that second knockdown was a money uppercut. One of the best uppercuts I've seen, to be honest, especially a short one that just landed so clean and so flush and hurt Ramirez very badly. So Ramirez was lucky to make it out of that. No shame in defeat to Taylor, though. We have a new undisputed champion at 140. We'll be discussing both these guys, what's next, later on in the week. But a very, very strong fight right here to declare an undisputed champion. These 2 guys fought with heart. They fought with passion. They both wanted it, and they left it all in the ring. And it was a very, very good addition of an all-out 2 champions, undefeated, going for the undisputed title. It was a really great storyline, and the fight sold. So congratulations to Josh Taylor, biggest victory of his career. He is now the undisputed junior welterweight champion. And you know what? Congratulations to Jose Ramirez for fighting with all heart. No shame in losing this fight. And we'll see him back in the ring. But that's it. That's the ESPN recap. Again, I'll be doing what's next videos on Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, and Jose Cepeda later on in the week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, my podcast is coming. I'm going to be doing a new one, and I'll give you, I'll definitely be releasing it hopefully soon. I'm trying to get it done by this weekend. All right, guys, that's it. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.